Madam Speaker and colleagues, I'll speak in the Busia style. Madam Speaker and colleagues, I join my colleagues and the rest of the country to pay a tribute to the lost hero. Honorable Ssegirinya was a great friend because he had character of the people of Busia border. I would say so because he was a leader who had qualities that voters want. Madam Speaker, you have given me 1 minute, but in Busia, heroes don't die. Honorable Ssegirinya, honorable update. I want you to update God about this situation. That Uganda, we are a country which in this century, we are still talking about denying our people bail and bond. Honorable Ssegirinya, the second update to God, tell him that this is a country which is still taking civilians in military courts. Honorable Ssegirinya, update number 3, report to God how you have been belonging to a mingled political party which is not organized. Honorable Ssegirinya, lastly, I want you to request God to bless the Speaker and the Commissioners for the support they have given you. And also request God to allow the Speaker to be the second National Vice Chairperson for our party because of her good heart. Lastly, Madam Speaker and my colleagues, words of living people when they are dead must be taken seriously. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya, when he was still alive, there are some people he on his grave. Those people are now crying more than the relatives of Ssegirinya. Moreover, Ssegirinya, before he died, he told them, you authored a letter saying, I am not sick, don't step on my grave.
Let's have order.
The words of Ssegirinya must be taken seriously.
Can you all sit?
Yes. Your protection. When Honorable Ssegirinya was still sick, there are words he spoke, and I want those words to be respected on his grave. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya, there are some people he listed in his party that they should never step on his grave because they ushered a letter saying he's pretending that he is sick. These people should not step on the grave of Ssegirinya because I saw them yesterday, Madam Speaker, when they are crying more. Why are they crying more than the relatives of Ssegirinya?
Thank you.
Why are they crying, Madam Speaker?
Honorable
I therefore request the imams who will lead the prayers to ban.
Honorable Banda.
I visited Ssegirinya Aga Khan and I thought we had lost him. But the mother stayed strong. And a young man called Kasaga who was taking care of him. I found them desperate. And the doctor at Aga Khan asked me, but you know, can't you manage this in Uganda? And I felt a sense of really shame on my part. But on the speaker, he's left us. And his departure has exposed the pettiness, the callousness, the emptiness, the insensitivity of politics and politicians, right, Madam Speaker. And we need to learn from both sides. We need to appreciate that our sense of humanness should never disappear regardless of the disagreements that we find ourselves into. What became of our sense of humanity? What became of our Africanness? The suffering and the sick should never be should never be used for to milk politics and political space. Right, Honourable Speaker. Right, Honourable Speaker, while this man was suffering, I'm concluding, we're jostling for his position in Kawempe. What happened to us as politicians? As was ill in hospital. And I made sure all those who are supposed to get home, they never visited. They are plotting for his position in Kawempe. This is very callous of politicians. It must stop. We don't choose when we go. our sense of sensitivity should never get away because one of us is suffering. We must feel for each other. And this I'm saying to both sides of the House. To the Honorable Secretary, you fought your battle. You did your bit humbly, with humility, with little, in terms of exposition, in terms of capacity. We shall escort you, not as a villain, but as a victor in various spaces in which we struggle to make a difference. Sleep well, my brother.
Thank you.
In paying tribute to our departed brother, the Honorable Ssegirinya. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to extend my sympathies and from those of the people of Masaka to the family, the children, and in a special way, because she had this special attachment to his son that I witnessed over time. I thought, right Honorable Speaker, I would say much here, but then on reflection, I thought not necessary anyway. I'm going to just make a few remarks in recognition of the legacy of this gentleman lying before us. We do not choose the time we bow out. It's not in our space. And I have been scanning through the relating to his demise. And you could tell that there is not a single phrase or statement or word that would afford him a befitting epitaph. Probably his life has been a cocktail. It was a short life. We could not master exactly where his journey would end. But like I said, we don't choose when we bow out. He never chose this. I followed closely on behalf of Parliament. Then as leader of the opposition when he was arrested, I followed him and his brother, the Honorable Ssegirinya, through the challenges in prison, falling sick. Ssegirinya, I beg your pardon, Right Honorable Speaker. And the troubles went through to secure clearance of the medical board for his away from treatment in prison and from within the country. I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the effort. At one stage, the Right Honorable Speaker had to do a money hunt for members of the medical board to convene and clear the treatment of Honorable Ssegirinya. It was tough. It was, and we were losing time. We were losing time, and he had to be driven to the tarmac for emergency treatment. Suddenly, his illness and eventually exposed our systems. The state system as being weak and porous, incapable of a coherent investigation to give a decent man justice, incapable of a decent prosecution, the entire exercise in which he was being prosecuted tainted with a lot of inconsistency, and you could feel a sense of, revenge and retribution, this whole thing. And for me, that should not be part of our life. I'm glad the Honourable Minister for the Youth has made a commitment. I want to see you follow through that commitment. That, Madam Speaker, I beg your pardon that I make these statements. That the hunting hound of the opposition has ceased. The Honourable Ssegirinya had so many friends. And I want to thank his friends who stood with him in prison and hospital. Even when he left prison, and some friends were questioning how he was released, yet they knew he was very sick. That for me was inhuman. Secondly, to thank the medical team at Nsambya Hospital, Dr. Sechitoliko and team, Luaga Hospital, Sister Dr. Grace Nanyondo and the team. They did a great job. And of course, the team at Aga Hospital. I visited Ssegirinya at Aga Khan, and I thought we had lost him.
Honorable Speaker and the honorable members, I rise to support the motion to pay tribute to our fallen colleague, and on behalf of the people of Chinchiz East, I convey condolences to the family, the mother, and the family of Ssegirinya, Honorable, to you, the Speaker of Parliament, and all members of Parliament, because this is our colleague, to the members of the National Unity Platform Party where he belonged, and the entire opposition, and the people of Kawempe North, whom he represented in this House. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya made his name through activism, and many of us knew him before coming to Parliament, because he was very active in the public space, and people would always say, that man might end up in Parliament, as if he should not be in Parliament, and indeed he came to the House. When he came to the House, he was a member of Parliament who reached out to anybody and everybody, irrespective of where you stood. For instance, he approached me and said, Honorable Baryomus, I know you from the public. I have a wife who hails from your constituency in the village of Kambuga. So I am your in-law. And yes, and we began relating as such. So we, the people of Kamungu, he was our son-in-law. He's our son-in-law, and we have lost our son. I think there are many lessons that we draw from the life of the Honorable Ssegirinya, that you can rise from a humble background and rise to any position as long as you know what you want. Because he rose through political and media activism and became a member of Parliament. I would also like to salute him for his spirit of altruism, concern for the others, because as we heard from the many eulogies and as we knew him, even when he served as a member of Parliament for a short time, but he was on the ground trying to address the concerns of the people of his constituency, and we salute him for that. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ssegirinya had an incurable medical illness even before he came to Parliament. And indeed, even before I was sworn in, he fell sick, and I think he was even hospitalized. So he came to the House when he was sick. It was unfortunate that he was imprisoned together with the Honorable Ssegirinya, Sewanyana, rather. And I remember even his long time on remand concerned some of us. I think this is the Honorable Sarigwa or Muhammad Chivumbi, where we discussed it at some point. I also know that being in prison, it depressed him so much that at one point he even refused to take medication until when we had to come in and counsel him as a medical doctor. So we're in touch with him, and we really feel sorry that he has died when he had not accomplished his assignment as a member of Parliament for the five years. Madam Speaker, allow me to make comments on some of the issues which have been raised in this debate. Many of them time and space as members of Parliament to debate them, the nature of politics, human rights, all these issues. We have time to discuss them as members of Parliament, but probably allow me to speak on two issues, bail and bond. The President, the President, Yoweri Museveni, has an opinion that maybe bail should be denied on some offenses, as an opinion. But that opinion, I have heard him say, I will engage the Chief Justice to see whether maybe there can be practice directives or what. But this has not been translated into law.
Honorable members, yes. Let's listen. An opinion is not law.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I'm saying. You had your time to speak, I am now speaking. You see, the problem, Madam Speaker, that we have in this country is intolerance. We should be able to listen to each other. My view may not be the same as yours, but you should give me a chance to say what I want to say. And as we move forward, Madam Speaker, we should, as members of Parliament and political leaders, promote that culture of tolerance even when our views are different. So on that issue of bail, it's an opinion that he has been holding, but if it was to be so at the end, it will come here, either through amendment of the Constitution or the laws. And I don't think any judicial officer currently is intimidated to fail to make a decision, because the law still gives judicial officers discretion to decide on matters of bail when cases are before them. So a judicial officer worth his name should be able to make a judgment, make a decision depending on the case before him or her. And I'm sure the lawyers in this House agree. The other issue that has been raised is that maybe government and judiciary should consider maybe dropping charges against the Honorable, the co-accused, Honorable Sewanyana and the co-accused.
I think that is something that we should discuss later.
Yes, yes.
On the issues of political prisoners.
Nothing useful to
Well,
say.
that's what I'm saying. We take note of that request.
Take your seat, sir.
You know,
Doctor, you finish? Switch on, switch on.
I will convey this to the Attorney General to have an engagement with the judiciary. We have taken note of that concern raised by the members of Parliament.
I think we should also have a date when we shall discuss the issue of the political prisoners.
Okay.
Let's have a date. And
we shall have a
discuss.
debate on even whether that terminology is correct of political prisoners. But that will be for another day. The wife from my constituency, I am not very sure of the children the wife has, but I also, as a member of Parliament for Chinchills East, take up one of the children.
Thank you, thank you.
Support the child for his or her education.
Thank you.
I thank you very much. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much. Honorable members and Ssegirinya Mohammed, Mr. Update, he has served humanity. He has been there for everybody, and he rose from grace to grace. If he tells you how he came from Masaka, how he boarded a Matoke truck, you will not believe it. Ssegirinya has come from very far, but we must thank God that he at least achieved what he wanted. And his humility speaks volumes. How we could learn, if we could learn something from the late Ssegirinya, it would make a change in all of us. When you hear that within those few months that he made an impact in Kawempe, he made an impact in his community, he made an impact in this country, then you must learn something. Yes. Honorable members, I'm a Muslim. You are the same person who is going to blame me for delaying with the body here.
Right, Honorable Speaker, that swallow for Janais is performed as long as the body has come anytime. So it is not delayed. May I make the amendment, ma'am? May I make the amendment, ma'am?
Yes.
May I make the amendment?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Right, Honorable Speaker. Concern that when you persuaded members to contribute, we spoke in tongues outside. While I appreciate that.
Actually attacking me.
Yes, I appreciate your concern and it's regrettable. Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya has served here 4 years. The difference between him and the Right Honorable Oulanya is that he had served here for several years, and therefore his package was big as a person. And as a Right Honorable Speaker, he also had an entitlement as a fallen Speaker of Parliament. Honorable Ssegirinya has only been here for 4 years, did not even have time to invest for his family. You can imagine the burden that the family is going to have. I've calculated, Right Honorable Speaker, if each one of us here sacrificed only 300,000 shillings, the family would collect 150 million shillings, which is good enough for them to be able to invest. I therefore would like to persuade my colleagues that we amend the motion to include that members of Parliament, each one of them, of us, contributes 300,000 shillings as a package to help the family of Honorable Ssegirinya. I submit.
Honorable members, is that seconded? No, you sit. 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 I want secondment from this side. Seconded by Honorable Badiomusi, by Honorable Bahati, by the Imam, by Ivanda, by Bunyora Fayaz, by Honorable Uda, Honorable Balam, Honorable Gabriel, Honorable Minister Okasai, Rose, by the whole NRM side. So we are making a motion, and clerk should take note of this. Okay, I want to see those from this side also. Yes, I want to see the leader of opposition, the cow. Honorable Duru is not supporting. You better convince Honorable Duru to support, because I don't want to be taken to court. Supported by Hassan, by Honorable Chivumbi, by Honorable Asumani, by Honorable Abudu, by Honorable Seungu, by Honorable Elijah, Honorable Zake, Hildaman, Ethel, Madam Teacher, by the whole opposition. We are amending that one and all the independents. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, I concede to the amendment.
Those in favor of the amendment say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it. I now put a question that Parliament pays a glowing tribute to the late Honorable Ssegirinya Mohammed, a former member of Parliament of Kawempe Division North, and the tribute with amendment of payment of 300,000 per deduction per member of Parliament as passed in the resolution here. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.